This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. We're a man down, much like the Saints offensive line this weekend.
Where the hell did Nick go?
You know, he's off somewhere. I think he's having dinner at La Bernardin tonight. Or maybe it's Blue Ribbon. It's one of those
that's
places.
a shame. I've always hated that burger place.
Yeah, he's he's living the hard life again, you know.
He travels for work, you know, and that's perfectly understandable. So
he's entertaining a doctor. That first time meetup, first time date.
Okay, well,
so
La Bernardin is his choice.
I don't know if that's tonight or tomorrow.
So he's in Napa. Isn't that where that is?
No.
New York.
There you go.
Okay, that was a total guess. What's the one in Napa? Oh, the French Laundry.
There you go. Look at you.
Yeah. I heard they have great bag cheese there.
Yeah. You know, like the Rouses.
Yeah, one of them salami boards.
Oh yeah, pre-cut salami, a little cheddar cheese.
Yeah. Well, I guess I had the Pacific Northwest on the mind, and no, not where Kaden Ellis went to college.
Where'd he go again?
Idaho.
I'll take your word.
Y'all have to go back into the archives to for those of you whose head that may have gone over. I believe that was like episode 30 something.
I think it was earlier than that. That was when
could have been.
You planted a flag and.
Yeah, y'all flipped the fuck out just because I happen to like a guy that we drafted in the fifth round. I am not full of shit.
You knew nothing about him going into it.
We're not rehashing this Kaden debate. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you listening would love it if we just said, you know, screw doing a preview episode where Max and I are just going to go, you know, one-on-one on this whole Kaden Ellis thing. The honesty in my take of Kaden, the year we drafted him. But yeah. You know. To each his own.
Anyway.
But speaking of Pacific Northwest, that is where our Saints currently are. They made the trip today. Recording this on Thursday. The word on the street was they wanted to get their body clocks acclimated.
There you go.
To the 2-hour time difference, which, hey, whatever they got to do, you know. It was interesting. I listened to, I was trying to do some behind enemy lines scouting and pulled up some Seahawks podcasts.
Okay.
They're Locked On, to my surprise, actually did a crossover episode with
Ross?
one Ross Jackson.
There we go.
Yeah. I had no idea that it was good. I didn't get to finish it, but it, you know, their guy's good. You know, him and Ross have very much like the same cadence.
So, you know, gotta be good to do it by yourself. You know what I mean? Solo.
I feel like any of these Locked On guys, like it's like the Locked On network. I mean, I'm not trying to like do a shameless plug, but they gotta. It's literally a daily thing, because you know, so they got to know their shit. But it was a good little back and forth. You know, Ross gave him the spiel. Like,
could you do a daily show?
Could I?
Yeah,
of course.
Could you do it well?
You know how much I talk.
This is true.
I mean, everything I do well, Max. Please.
Okay.
Now, would I have the most accurate of predictions on said daily show? You know, different discussion.
Imagine if you had to do Corey's locks
by myself
5 days out of the week. Could you bring that energy every single day?
I mean, I could bring the energy. Just the success rate would be
the losses wouldn't
abysmal.
Just mount and just kill your spirit.
Dude, next man up. Just, you know,
okay.
Short memory.
It's a lot of spirit.
You know, think like a goldfish.
There you go.
Ted Lasso. So, but no, we digress. Even when Nick's here, we go on tangents. But
even when he's not here,
right? Not here.
There you go.
Is he here?
He's not here.
You sure?
Nick? No, not here.
Okay, not here. But yeah, they had a good discussion. It's interesting because like the headline of the episode is this the week Seattle dominates?
Wow. A little presumptuous of them.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's funny because that was what it was titled. And look, they kicked the shit out of the Steelers, but then they went into how they are not particularly great at whatever the field's called now in Seattle. It's named after something. Starts with an L. Can't think of it.
So wait, they're saying they're not good at home anymore?
Yeah, apparently they have better success on the road.
So the home field advantage is gone.
Or at minimum is not what it used to be.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of like the Superdome
now,
at this point.
They showed video. The Niners did to them almost the same thing they did to us. They showed videos of the Niners-Seahawks game in week 1.
Yeah.
And that,
But the Niners had
stadium,
their key players.
Niners had their key players. The stadium was filled with red. But it was good. It was a good back and forth listening to their podcast. So I think the Seahawks coming in feeling pretty confident. And they were talking about, like, their guy was talking about the snowball effect, where when you're playing a better team, you try to just prevent it from snowballing out of control. And he was like, I think in this one, it's the Seahawks who are going to be hoping that they can cause it to snowball and get out to an early lead and then put it away early and then the route is on. Which, look, I don't think anything's out of the realm of possibilities in this one. But they do have a talented team. I think they got a pretty decent. They're I think better off on the defensive front than pretty much anywhere else on the team. They've got Byron Murphy.
Well, they're dealing with some injuries, right? Aren't there
Not
three
Dexter,
starters who were possibly not going to play?
Lawrence, what's his first name? Came over from the Cowboys.
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
Got him as a pass rusher.
I'm sorry, DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, Dexter's another team.
Dexter's with the Giants.
Jaron Reed. So they've got pieces that can cause issues for Rattler if he's not getting the ball that quick. And then, we apparently Radens is going to be out this game. So
Penning
he was a limited participant the last injury
right. He's
report
not
I saw.
confirmed either way.
So I mean,
do we see Simpkins?
I think we're going to have to, unless
Penning
there's
might play. I'm hoping Penning can play.
Well, if Penning plays,
maybe
then
Simpkins can get in on that other side and push the Ruiz out of the way.
Yeah, I don't know
That hot take is coming to fruition at some point.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see Ruiz get benched this game unless it just goes completely to shit. I did see a stat or post earlier that Ruiz, as of this year, as of week 2 this year, is currently 86th out of 88 offensive guards in the league.
Is that good?
And yeah, the low numbers are typically better with PFF rankings.
There we go.
So you can take the PFF rankings with the shaker of salt that Max likes to talk about, but I mean, when you're that low, something's not right. They at least do watch some film. So I don't think Simpkins necessarily comes in and replaces him barring injury, but to Ruiz. But it's if Penning can play, then you've got a better shot. The real issue is going to be what happens is Fuaga going to be okay to suit up. They were holding him back. I don't think he practiced yesterday. I didn't see what it was today, but there's a lot of question marks on the offensive line yet again. So
yeah, it feels like that's going to be a constant this whole season. I don't think Fuaga is going to get 100% anytime soon. I mean, he has to keep fighting through it and going out there because we don't have anybody else that can really go at this point. So, then you got Penning's injury. We're not even sure he's going to play this week, so that injury is kind of lingering. Radens, same thing. I mean, Kelvin Banks and McCoy and Ruiz, that's the three that haven't been hurt yet, and Ruiz's performance has been terrible. So, I don't know, man. The offensive line we talked about in the preseason and training camp, we thought it might be a strength. Right now, it's kind of where it was last year. A lot of injured guys and just, one or two consistent performers. So, scary proposition. How do you feel about Rattler this week? Let me rephrase that.
All right.
If Rattler comes out and throws 3 touchdowns this week, I'm not worried about a win. I don't think we're going to win. Spoiler alert. But let's just say he comes out and throws 3 touchdowns this week, kind of like he did last week. Completes 73% of his passes. How do you really, I guess, get behind the Rattler movement at that point, or? I mean, I guess how far away are you from being bought in completely?
It edges you closer to being bought in terms of not worrying about seeing Shuck this year. I don't know that I'll ever be so bought in to say that that Shuck shouldn't be considered at some point, including this offseason, including if Rattler plays all 17 games. Now, it depends on what the 17 games look like. I think it's possible for him to have a similar performance as last week. Like let's just say last week is his ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm. Which a lot of people have thrown that term
right.
around.
So if you count last week as Rattler's ceiling, you're talking about, it's good enough not to get benched, but is it good enough to say this guy's our future? To where you don't have to start asking some tough questions going into the next all season. I mean, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. If you do that per game, obviously you're a Pro Bowl quarterback. So we're not saying it's going to be 3 TDs, 0 INTs the rest of the year. But the kicker with his game last week is that while his stat line was good, the finer points were still, there were some a little bit lacking. Not a little. I mean, it was lacking in terms of the finer points that you expect a true starting caliber QB to make week in and week out. I still give him a little bit of grace because he hasn't yet played a full season's worth of games as a starter. So you look at the miss to Olave. You can't have a future franchise quarterback missing that kind of pass.
Yeah, you also can't have a supposed number 1 receiver missing that catch too. I
mean, the catch was harder.
It's bad on both of their sides.
The catch was harder than the throw. It's worse on Rattler's end.
Yeah, but he's a better player than Rattler.
True, so. but then and then like the one to AK, there were a couple other missed opportunities, and I mean, Kellen Moore said that you're going to have missed opportunities. Here and there, but yeah, I mean every next game. Put it this way, and if every next game that Rattler does well, it makes it more interesting. It makes the Saints' decision that much harder.
Well, let's do this. We'll do this little segue before we get into the picks. Out of all the second-year quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I'm counting everyone. There were 5 or 6 of them in the first round last year. You had Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. So that was 5. And was there another one? Am I forgetting somebody? I don't think so.
I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you also have Rattler.
Yeah.
How would you rank these quarterbacks now based off what you've seen just this year?
Let's see. So Caleb, McCarthy,
Drake, Jaden, Bo, Penix. There were 6.
I haven't watched much of Drake May this year.
He's towards the top of my list.
Yeah, I think he has to be towards the top in terms of just like consistency. I think you got to put like Nix and Penix kind of towards the middle. Caleb is.
You're basing it off of this season, right?
After this, Caleb's at the bottom this year. I mean, he's not. He has not had a good season.
So to me,
it's 2 weeks, but he has not had a good first 2 games.
So who's your number 1?
This
one should be pretty easy.
I mean, I guess May, but I haven't seen him play that much.
I would say Jaden Daniels. Daniels is probably
Jaden Daniels. My bad. Yeah.
1, and then Drake May is probably 2.
Jaden Daniels is in his own tier. That's why I wasn't even thinking about him.
I should phrase it this way. Well, no, you say that. I mean, they're 1-1, and he's, he should be in his own tier.
Yeah.
But Drake May, look, you guys know I'm very high on Drake.
Yeah. But
here's the thing, though. Those 2 are clearly ahead of the rest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The rest of them? Rattler belongs in that same tier as them because
I think it's McCarthy
fair to say, looks terrible.
It's fair to put Rattler as the next one knocking on the door or the highest guy of the next group based on the first 2 games.
I don't know about. He's in the discussion. But someone said it on Twitter. I think it was Ralph. It might have been somebody else. Someone said that just the fact that he's in the discussion
is a win.
Considering he's a 5th round pick.
But I mean, it's hard to say. If you did week 1, you'd put McCarthy ahead of him. After last week,
would you 1 quarter?
I mean, he won the game for them, right?
He was terrible for 3 full quarters.
I mean,
he's been terrible for 7 quarters out of 8.
Yeah.
Like, he's really been bad.
It was like kind of like Rattler's year last year. It's like you get point to 1.
They honestly look like the same player at some points. Caleb has not been good. He's a square peg in a round hole in Ben Johnson's offense. Bo Nix has not been good.
Yeah. But I think the point is
the
point is like you have seen progression out of Rattler. You've seen growth, and
that's my point. He's gotten a little bit better. The rest of them have kind of fallen off, other than the top 2.
Yeah, no,
is crazy.
that's fair. And so this week,
No one would have thought that a month ago, 2 months ago.
you know, what was his last road game? I mean, I know he had the Packers as a road game, with the infamous jump throw. What other games did he play on the road towards the end of last season? I'm trying to, but this will be his first road test. His first, I think his first. Did he start the Packers game? But either way, going up to Seattle, seeing his new and improved self this year, it'll be his first, test behind enemy line. So I'm curious to see how he does. And we said it last episode where, he's going to improve, presumably. Now, we thought the team was going to improve last year after 2 weeks, and the team as a whole did not. So there's no guarantee that just because Rattler had the good 2 weeks that he's just going to continue on the same trajectory. But that said, you would expect him to improve. You expect him to continue to grow. Kellen opening up the playbook more, him getting more in sync with all the receivers as games go by. But like we also said last episode, success is not linear. So at some point, I would be really surprised if he just got better every single game. Consistent, like consecutive games. Every consecutive game was better than the last. I don't see that. So is this the week he takes a step back? Is it
I think
next
you
week?
need to look at it as 4-game quarters. When it was 16-game season, it was a lot easier. It was like you had 4 quarters to look at. So I don't think you need to judge it by a week-by-week improvement. You got to judge it by a quarter by quarter.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, in this particular quarter, he's got 2 home games, 2 road games. So that'll be a good litmus test.
Right. Now, look, he's 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 70% completion.
It's better than his 1-to-1
than it was last year.
So
obviously a very small sample size, so too soon to say anything one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to watch the game on TV because you know how it is when you see my seats. It's hard to see anything unless they're on your side of the field. So it'll be nice to really watch this game and kind of be able to focus on what he's doing, what the rest of the team is doing, and kind of really be able to formulate an educated opinion as opposed to the last 2 games where I'm kind of deferred to you guys, watching it on TV as to what you guys saw. So
yeah, I mean, you could be plugged in 100% to y'all's games if you watched it by yourself and did it like a scout, where you're literally not talking to anybody else, you're not looking at anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it'll. I think for this one, we're talking a lot about Rattler, but we're kind of talking about like the big picture with him.
I mean, it's the most important story of the season.
It is.
Yeah.
So if we're focusing on Seattle, though, I think, it's kind of like you hear it sometimes as like coach speak or like player speak where they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about, if a player's like, I'm not worried about me, I'm worried about the team. This is a week in particular where Rattler can show that in his play, because I think our best route to victory in this one, if we're going to pull out a win, we said along the way we're going to have to steal somewhere if we want to get a few wins this year. This is one that would be technically a steal, and I think the game goes through him being truly a game manager and possessing the ball more, keeping their defense off the field. I mean, keeping their offense off the field, having AK have a good day, having Kendra actually be a compliment when he gets the ball, and seeing the O-line run block. So if Rattler can just not turn the ball over, not miss the open throws, like when we need to throw it, if the guy's open, you have to hit him, because the margin for error with this team is so small, and especially on the road games. You want to keep the crowd out of it. Nothing creates a bigger crowd pop than when you misplace a ball and one of your receivers gets tagged. Or it's a 3rd and long, you got a guy wide open, you miss him, the crowd's back in it. So if Rattler can just keep it boring, take the fans out of it, then I think we have a fighting chance. But that comes with our ability to actually run the ball. So I hope to see the same trend continue. We saw 46 pass attempts last week, then we saw 34 pass attempts out of Rattler last week. I would love to see
somewhere in the 20s.
One-score game, win or lose, but have a 20 pass attempt game in a 1-score game, because that means you're truly balanced, and it means you've had success with the run.
If they're going to win, he needs to be something like 18 of 26. That needs to be that area that he lands in. Like throwing over 40 passes, that just means we're probably behind and he's just chucking it up and it's garbage time.
Yeah. Now, that said, I think when you're looking at Seattle's defense, they're banged up in the defensive backfield. A lot of they have like 2 or 3 out of 4 of their defensive backs. And I think they run a nickel a lot. Their coach is the former defensive coordinator from Baltimore, former Dowg as well. But he likes to run a 3-4. So you'll see a lot of DBs on the field at the same time, but a lot of them are banged up. So you take advantage of that. That'll be a good thing. So there might come a point where they start to stuff us in the run, and it's going to be a good test for Kellen Moore to say, okay, like how do we get creative in this one? So it's going to be tough. It could be very well be ugly to watch. There's even like a little bit of rain predicted in the forecast. It's like shaping up to be the most in Seattle game ever.
Well, here's a fun storyline. Clint Kubiak revenge game. So when you flip into the other side of the field, how's our defense going to fare against their offense? You know, Darnold threw 2 interceptions the last game. I forget if he had one in the first game. He may have been like a 0-0 stat line in the first game, but they've got a good running back in Kenneth Walker, but they have Charbonnet. They got 2 good running backs.
Word on the street is that they're not word on the street. I saw a stat that Charbonnet actually has outsnapped Walker like 60-something or 40-something. But Walker has been much more productive when he does get the ball. It was that Walker still had more touches last game, even though Charbonnet outsnapped him. And if you look at the stat line from last game, Walker had like 4 yards carry to Charbonnet, who had like 1.5 yards a carry. It was something ridiculous. But, you know, they have 2 very capable running backs. So you hope to see us be able to stuff the run, or at a minimum, you know, there's really, besides Godshaw and Reed, you know, and then Sanker is a rookie. I'm not counting the cornerbacks, so they're not going to be involved in run stopping except from the edges. But like, they've seen this offense before, right? You know, I mean, now every NFL level offensive coordinator is going to throw in something they haven't seen at some point. But those are, you know, that's probably, you're talking like maybe 5 to 10 plays out of 60 snaps run. So guys like DeMario, Warner, Granderson, Cam, I mean, Shepard, they should know like where these offensive linemen are trying to go at the snap. So I hope that plays into our favor. You know, it's safe to say that Staley knew where the Niners were trying to go last week because he was on their staff last year. And, you know, we held him to 77, so maybe that factored in. But you would hope to see some similar success. And, hell, there were games last year we were watching Kubiak thinking, like, all right, can we get a different offensive coordinator? Not the first 2 weeks, but, you know, hopefully the Kubiak we bemoaned last year is the one that shows up this week. So, yeah, I am excited to see that matchup. And hopefully we can take advantage of Sam Darnold.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the picks. We'll let you go first, and then I'll give Nick's pick since he already gave them to me via text. And then I'll give mine, and then we'll just roll back. So, offense, what you got?
All right. I have to go chalk on this one.
Okay.
I got to go AK again, especially because
it's going to be a trend today, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, until somebody really – now, the usage rate in the way that Rather looks at him, you could say Juwan, but it's that – there's a good chance that no matter what his stat line is, he did something to totally invalidate whatever he did the rest of the game. But I mean, I got to go AK.
Give me a stat line. What you thinking?
I'm thinking we go for
touchdown.
I do think he gets in the end zone this game.
One time?
Once. And I think he rushes for.
Just give me total yards. Just give me total.
Give me 90 total yards.
Okay.
And I think, you know, his performance overall is going to look like he was valuable.
You and Nick are remarkably close on this one. He has AK, offensive MVP, 100 total yards, 1 touchdown.
Price is Right rule is about to kick in.
Yeah. So I'm going to also go with AK. I'm going to change it up. I'm saying 2 touchdowns.
Woo. He good. I mean,
I'm not going yardage, but I feel like
I will say
this is the game where we have to run the ball to have any sort of a chance.
Yeah. The Locked On Seattle podcast that I listened to, the host he had a pretty good line where he was like, it's still very fresh in the Seattle fans' minds when a Teddy Bridgewater Saints team came in and just led y'all down the field. And it was one of those games where he threw at like an 80% clip, and then Kamara had like butter all over his jersey, and everybody was just slipping all over him.
There was also the game where Deontay Hardy had a return for a touchdown. So
in my mind, I'm like picturing Shaheed doing it, but obviously he wasn't playing for us back then. But it's just the description was like, no one could hold on to Kamara. It was like he had just painted butter all over his jersey. I'm like, that's a pretty good way to put it. So hopefully that's the case again.
Okay, so we all have AK, just different stat lines. So let's move on to defense. Give it to me.
Do we all have Granderson?
I do not.
Okay, I have Granderson.
Okay, you and Nick going. You guys are riding together in the sunset on this one, man.
I'm gonna go with a sack. You know what? 2 sacks.
I don't think we need to get any more granular than that. I think
2 sacks. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
Granderson.
I think going forward with these, like if it's an offensive player, we say how many touchdowns.
Or we kind of throwing it in. We throw in the stats as like a tiebreaker. So whatever. Did Nick give any stats on Grando?
Well, no, you would both get a point if it's Grando.
I know.
We really don't need a tiebreaker. It's not like we only award.
I guess we
point.
don't do tiebreakers.
Yeah, we don't do it on this. So.
Maybe we should think about that.
No, I mean you could just.
Well, if I said
point.
2 sacks and Nick said 1, and he had 2 sacks, I think I should get the point.
No, you both get a point if it's Grando. That's how we've always done it. So you're going Grando 2 sacks. I'll go ahead and slide in with Nick. He's got Grando with 1 sack.
How much of 1?
I'm going to change it up. I'm going DeMario Davis.
I took my pick from last week. All right.
I'm saying he's going to have 10 tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give him a sack as well.
Last time you picked him, you went. Nick didn't let you off the hook. You were like fumble, forced fumble.
Yeah.
And, no, first you went interception for DeMario, and Nick's like, oh, so it's going to be like his 5th ever?
Yeah.
Okay, no, give me a forced fumble. Oh, well, he doesn't have many of those either.
Look, you know what? Week one's always tough. You're still getting your feet back underneath you, and look, sometimes you got to pivot a little bit.
Like, I like the way DeMario's looked. I mean,
he looks.
Who doesn't like the way DeMario's look? That's kind of like an easy. What the hell?
Well, Grando looks like a maniac right now, so it's great.
He's playing possessed, but I really do see DeMario being like. In Dennis Allen's defense, it was like, yes, they went with 2 linebackers a lot, but it was, you always knew where to look for DeMario.
Right.
You're like, if I look between the tackles or between the guards, and it's a run play, I'm probably going to see him making the play there. I feel like the first 2 games so far, he's everywhere. I mean, he's coming around the edge. He's making, and
that's the way it should be.
He's free. He's just,
You can't pigeonhole him into any spot. He's just all over the place. Okay, score prediction. Who's winning?
They got the over-under set at 41.
Okay.
I can't remember 41 and a half. I've leaned lower, but let me just Seattle's. I got to pick Seattle.
Okay.
There's too much like going against us in this one, and I'm hoping as a fan that by making a pick, the opposite.
The reverse lock.
Yes.
Jinx. Yeah.
Well, this isn't the lock.
I know, but it's all falls under.
I'm thinking. All right.
We should do a T-shirt for your locks.
Yeah. You got anything in mind?
I do.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that one.
Can't even imagine. Yeah. So
Dan, this one's for you.
I don't want to know.
You'll find out soon enough. So you're going Seahawks. Give me a score.
Seahawks 24-21. Another one-score game.
21. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Give me what swings it their way. Does any group let us down, or somebody just rattle throw an interception? What's the difference here?
I mean, this would make sense as the game to where he throws an INT. I think, we'll have it 21-17, and I think even have like a second half lead at some, but maybe not as early as third quarter. But I see the DBs probably going to be Yadam, and they somehow get Yadam on Smith and Jigba, and we're like, what the fuck? How did that happen?
Yeah.
And they burn us for a big play touchdown. I mean, that's kind of where I see them. But it's not hard to rule out a big burst like Trey Benson style run out of Charbonnet this game. You know, like that could easily.
Just don't say a Marshawn Lynch style run. I don't think I can handle that.
Yeah, if we did miss an alarming number of tackles last game, which was not fun to see. So hopefully they emphasize that this week, because Seattle is not the place where you like to see black and gold missing tackles. Brings up too many bad memories. One specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think like we might have a lead in the second half, and it's just gonna. I mean, there's a bunch of ways it could happen, but I see that being more likely than like them. This could be a reverse thing too, but that being more likely.
Hold on. You can't verbalize the reverse.
I know. I've told you this before,
and you were right. Yeah, you can't verbalize.
But I mean, the options are either we're winning, they have a score to go up, and we don't get it back, or they get out to a big lead, and then we make a comeback, and it's too little, too late.
Right.
The latter does seem more Saintsy, but I think
but this team doesn't feel Saintsy yet.
Right. I think, but the way this team is played,
right, they've been scrappy, man. Every week,
scrappy. No, the effort's been there, and they really do seem close, and
they're competitive, which is all we can ask for in a rebuilding season.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if they pull this one out, if they put some things together. But
you want to change your pick?
No, I can't. I'm not going to predict it.
You don't want to. Come on, you don't want to buck the trends that are going here.
We've been talking a lot about business decisions that are being made, and that could very well be made this season. This is a business decision
already. Max. Week 3.
It's man,
you and Chase Young.
Yeah, he's my calf's starting to hurt, dude.
Yeah. Jesus, are we even going to see him this year? I feel like this might be that injury that just lingers the whole year.
And did you see Honey Badger's tweet today?
No, what did he say?
He was like, "I never stole money." Something. He straight up tweeted that. I was like, "Wait, is this real?" And he was like, "I never stole money." You know,
that's a shot at somebody.
And then Howden had a tweet that was just interesting. ...
No
I'm
kidding.
like, what the fuck is going on today?
How did I miss this?
I don't know. Do you have a phone?
Apparently I was working too hard today. It was today?
Yeah.
I don't follow the Honey Badger. I need to, I guess.
Yeah. I don't remember what point today, because I did do support.
Look, Chase Young is still the same Chase Young he's always been. He's never going to be...
It's so frustrating. It really did seem like in the preseason, and I was on the way home, WWL had a guy on who was talking about like, I don't know, a sports trainer, but he said how like the calf and Achilles are like, they're very much related. So it's possible you'll see teams be cautious with the calf injury because it's very easy to have a calf turn into an Achilles or vice versa, apparently. But it seems like
when they throw out apparently and usually and supposedly.
Seems like business.
It seems like a business move, yeah. I got to look up this Honey Badger tweet.
Which sucks.
I want to see the responses.
I was like, whoa, like this. It was like nobody : Tyrann Mathieu. I never stole money.
Well, Chase Young is stealing money.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get into Nick's pick. Nick also picked the Seahawks, and he went final score of 19-16. His synopsis was, we stay close until the secondary lets us down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's
hard to argue with that. That's kind of been the...
very likely.
Yeah, the secondary is not very strong these days. The corners are a little weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know if Kool-Aid is...
I think Kool-Aid's fine.
I think he's okay. I don't know if he's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think
we're not going to find out because
I think he's
on the other
good,
side.
but there's a difference in the NFL between being a good corner and a lockdown corner.
I don't even know if he's good yet. I think
he's good. I think he's good.
We haven't seen anything that tells us he's good yet.
Played last year. He's got 2 games. I don't think
he was okay.
I think he's good.
I think he's okay. I'm not ready to call him good yet.
All right. I'm not calling him a lockdown.
He's absolutely not a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, that's it's not even in question. All right, I'm also going to go Seahawks. I'm going to say 28-14.
Yeah.
So
that's the snowball effect.
Yeah, I just feel like, there was a little bit of the home cooking the last couple of weeks. Being in the dome, nice and not as hostile as it is being in Seattle. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Rattler and the rest of the offense responds to being in enemy territory where, it's a good defense. The offense they got some players.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kubiak's going to have his foot on the gas.
He could. I mean, if he gives us the Cowboys treatment, then it's a lookout situation because we're arguably susceptible to.
Our corners are very susceptible
to the play action. Given because you could easily argue the run is more of a threat with what they're bringing at us with Charbonnet and Walker than
definitely.
more of a threat than it was for us running against the Cowboys last year. I'm not counting the Panthers because of the level of competition, but we still took the top off the Cowboys. Because every time we did a play action, they threw it over the top, and Kubiak's going to dial something up like that.
Yeah. And I think this week and
Smith
next
and Jigba's
week,
just fucking good.
I think this week and next week are going to really start to tell the tale of Spencer Rattler and where he truly is in his progression as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Look, man, Seattle, that's a hard place to play. I know you were saying that their home field advantage hasn't been what it used to be. It's still a tough place to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels between.
Look, we got a young coach, first-time coach. We got a young quarterback.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, that next week in Buffalo, that's going to be tough, man. They're playing right now as we record, so they have 10 days before they play us in Buffalo. So I think these next 2 games are going to really – we're going to have a much better idea of the trajectory of this offense and this team. And I think we'll know if your lock is going to come true or not. And just for anyone who doesn't remember his lock, Corey said Rattler will start all 17 games. I think we're going to have a good idea if that's going to still be the case after these next 2 weeks.
Was that my season-long lock?
It was.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was the hot take or the lock. I think it was the lock.
It might have been, I don't know, hot take, lock. At this point, I don't know.
Either way, I said it.
You said it, and it might have been the hot take. But either way, I think you've got a real shot.
Yeah.
But I think a lot's going to be dictated this week and next.
If he continues to not be the reason we lose games, because when you saw what he did at home in a friendly confines. So let's just say he does have 2 bad games against the Seahawks at Seattle, one of the harder places to play in the league, and in Buffalo, who's one of the best teams in the league. Like, do you fault him for having bad games if those 2 are the bad games?
No, but he's 0-4 at that point.
He's 0-4.
On last year, he's 0-10.
But I think it might be more telling, like, how does he do against competition he should be doing well against? Like, no one's expecting him to have a great game against either Seattle or Buffalo. But I think against the Giants, they got a good pass rush, but like Giants, Bears, whoever, I forget who else is coming up after that. Like, if you're the team should be doing well enough around you against opponents like Giants, Bears, to where if you don't win, then it's more on you. Where like Seattle's better across the board, Buffalo's the best across the board. So if you don't win, do you really put that all on Rattler? Now, if we're close and he throws a pick to lose the game, then obviously circumstances would say yes. But it's.
I feel like he stays in the lineup until it looks like we're pretty much out of the playoff chase. I think right now he rolled with him because he's a little bit more experienced. He's a second-year guy, and he's like, you know what?
Yeah,
let's see if we can just kind of do what the Buccaneers did a couple years ago, that first year with Baker, when it was a quote-unquote rebuilding year. They got the cap right, and they still made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think, there was a push with the Saints and Kellen Moore where he's thinking, like, let me put the guy who's got a little more experience in. Yeah. Let's see if we can get lucky, get off to a good start. But I think once, if you're 0-4 and then, God forbid, you get to 0-5, 0-6, I think at that point he'll get the hook. But if he can steal one of these, then he's gonna stick in the rock.
Because you don't blame. I don't think we should. We shouldn't.
You can't blame him for anything yet.
I'm not blaming Moore for wanting to actually win. There's so many fans that are like, why are we even doing? If we lose,
what are you taking for? One of the shitty quarterbacks that it's underperforming?
Even if you assume they're the best, like that, if they're going to be what they were predicted to be before the year, it's kind of like. You can't expect the first-year head coach to just be okay with losing games to the tune of having a top-3 pick. He's going to do what he thinks he has to do to win first.
Well, no player in the locker room is going to be okay with it either.
So Rattler clearly, he thinks, is better suited to give you a chance to win than Shuck as a rookie. And I agree. If you get to the point where the playoffs are looking like, infinitely small, then the conversation becomes louder.
Right. But I think we're going to know the direction it's going to go in after the next 2 weeks. we're gonna have a good idea.
But look, Rattler's, Rattler called Kelvin Banks a dog. I think Rattler's a fucking dog. Like that dude's competitive as shit. So he's going to do everything he can to stay in it. So whether or not he's capable,
to his credit,
he's capable of it.
He has looked better than he did at any point last year and in the preseason. In the preseason, we all said it. He looked the exact same as he did last year. So, but you're seeing over, 4 weeks periods, like I talked about the quarters, you're seeing the improvement from the preseason to now. So if he can keep progressing, he might actually stay in the lineup for the whole year. But I think we'll know a lot more after Sunday and then the following week against Buffalo. Yeah. But, all right, so let's look at the season pick tally right now. Nick is at 3. You and I are both at 0.
0. Goose egg.
Well, maybe, we took chances.
Maybe it's karma. Like we're,
Yeah. And then, more importantly, Corey's locks. Do you know where you stand?
I mean, we're over this year.
You're negative $100.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're counting
just
dollars
to recap,
and cents.
We bet $50 every week on whatever Corey's lock is.
We're going to get it back.
Is this the week that it starts?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got for us? So do you feel ready? You feel confident?
I think there's some parallels between the team and my locks. Hopefully, it's not going to be like a season-long parallel, but this year, more so than last year, we've been scrappy. I think the locks have been scrappy. I think we've been closer these 2 weeks than we.
So here's a question for you. So you're assuming you're going to win this week. Why don't you pick the Saints to win? If you
keep wanting me to change my. You want me to go down that hole.
I do.
Business decisions.
So are you going to business decision this lock?
I mean, I'm gonna lock in the lock.
You lock it in?
Yeah.
Give it to me, man. What you got?
Woo! Here we go. Corey's locks. This is the week, Max. This is the one. We are going to Seattle, the first road game of the year. You know what the Seattle fans call themselves? You know what number they use to describe themselves, Max?
What's that?
You know. What do they call themselves?
Is it the same thing you came in fantasy last year?
12s. The 12s.
There you go, the 12s.
Who's my favorite Saints wide receiver of all time?
Marcus Colston.
What number does he wear, Max?
12.
And you know who I'm going with for my lock this week?
Marcus Colston.
Chris Olave. Number 12.
There you go. Boom.
This week's lock is an anytime touchdown from Chris Olave. Right now on FanDuel, you're getting plus 260 on that bet. So if we do our $50, it'll be $50 to win 145. I'll make up both weeks, right? Get a little extra money in the bank. But I mean, he's just due, guys. I mean, you got number 12.
Hold on. Do the math on that for me again. You said plus 260, right?
Win 145. Maybe not. Did we get all of it back? Whatever.
It's 100 to win 260. So divide it in half.
I'm just telling you what my phone told me.
Okay.
So we're going now that you got my brain all fried with the maths. He's due. The math says that he's due. The math says you're due. Math says I'm due. We've been close. We've been this close. But he's had all these other DBs on skates so far this year. He just hasn't quite connected. He's had some good plays, had some good catches. He's had some bad plays. He didn't even look at one of them coming last week at him. But this is the week he can put all that behind him. Number 12 goes up to the 12s and gets his first touchdown of the year in front of the 12s. So let's lock it in. Chris Olave, anytime touchdown.
I was kind of hoping you were going to lock in his 12th concussion playing against the 12s.
He's got a few more to go before he gets there.
Well, the ones we know about.
We get his touchdown first, and then he can feel free to have his 12th. That's fine.
All right, so we're locking it in. Right now, you are minus $100.
Let's go.
Now, before we get out of here, who are the locks sponsored by?
These locks are sponsored by Norton Leatherman Spine Center of Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. You have anything else you want to share?
That's it. Let's lock it in.
Let's lock it in.
Am I supposed to share anything else? Is that it?
I think we're good.
Woo!
So next week we might actually have a second lock.
It's getting lonely. It's been
lonely.
Let's go.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you for listening to the 28-3 podcast. Who dat?
What a